Welcome back, everybody. State and Gemini here. We're getting ready to go into the lower match of Group D, SOS versus Ryung. What year is it? What is happening, Gemini? I'm excited for this one. The winner's going to go up versus Reynor for the last spot in the RSL playoffs. Loser's going to be going home.
Yes, an interesting match here. Like you said, it's a bit of a throwback. We don't normally see something like this every now and then. But yeah, SOS versus Ryung. I mean, we saw some incredible builds from SOS already today. We saw a Mothership rush. We saw some weird glaive adept attack into DT and all that stuff. And now SOS is channeling his inner dark side. He's going to just be sitting in the cave in utter darkness to channel the Protoss hope as a... Oh, there you go. The monitor lights it up a little bit.
This is me when I'm laddering a home.
Yeah,
I told
there you go.
Yeah, that's why you don't... You notice there's no snow map. He banned it so that he doesn't have to turn on the lights.
Yeah. Ryung, on the other hand, sitting on the surface of the sun, apparently, as he's nice and bright and able to see everything. But Mothership is going to be our first map, and 3-player map means there's plenty of options for SOS. I think that will definitely favor him. I wonder if he was actually the one that even picked it in the first place. But yeah, this is going to be a potentially very hype match. Very interesting strategies could come out here from SOS. Ryung also can throw in some really interesting stuff here and there too. So I'm excited to see what we got.
Yeah, SOS and Ryung are two of my favorite players to watch. And even now in 2025, they can really put on some good games, as we saw demonstrated earlier on today. And I'm so curious what SOS is going to show us here on a 3-player map on a new map pool. This is Mothership LE. Look down at that minimap. It is literally a mothership. This map is so cool.
It's so sick. I've never seen a map that looks like this. It's like so interesting. It's so cool that they were able to pull it off and not make it look stupid, right? Like I feel like you try to do something like this and it just like totally falls flat, but this like actually it just looks like a mothership. It's cool.
And it also plays very well.
Yeah,
a lot of these 3-player maps, they run into this problem where their rotational symmetry means that one side is generally advantageous. Like for instance, if you look at it right now, say Ryung spawns here on the top left, you might say that SOS spawning in the top right would be good for Ryung, or SOS spawning in the bottom right would be good for Ryung, and the opposite would be true given the other spawns. But that's not really the case on Mothership. Just some way about... How should I phrase it? I think there's just so many diverse paths that units can go, plus the air blockers on the sides. It really mitigates any kind of imbalance that has been an issue and a plague, and one of the reasons why we don't see very many 3-player maps in StarCraft 2. And it's fun to have a map like this one in the pool. It's, I think, the one that I was most excited about in the TLMC.
Yeah, it's cool that it was able to make it in, and it was basically, I think it was like the first voted map as well, so that's pretty cool to see it here as well. We've got the wrong scout coming in from Ryung, so that's always the fun part of the 3-player maps, is that you may not always get the right scout right away, and that means that there are some little things that you can cut here and there. Maybe your build is a little bit greedier. Maybe your build has a proxy in a place that's really awkward. So it does kind of lead towards that. So it will be a little bit of a later scout from Ryung, but the Reaper still will be able to make it across anyways at a pretty normal time since he was using the SCV scout to go earlier. Whereas SOS should be able to maybe figure out that the Reaper coming from the left means that Ryung is over on that side as well. Unless he already sent a probe. Actually, I can't remember. It doesn't look like he did.
I don't think he did, no, looking at the mini-map.
Yeah.
But he sees the angle of attack coming in from that Reaper, and so he's going to very quickly just hallucinate Phoenix, get some scouting information, but oh, that sentry out of position. 2 probes already losing their shields. Probes getting pulled, in fact. That sentry does not dispatch the Reaper very quickly, so one worker going to go down. Reaper's going to escape with a ton of life left. Will be regenerating very soon as SOS, with that energy recharge on the sentry, able to get that scout in, spot the factory. He knows that some kind of harassment is likely going to be coming his way in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll go into that Twilight Council. Very standard from SOS, nothing crazy just yet. But that doesn't mean that the craziness will potentially be gone from this series, because SOS still could bring out some really weird stuff, despite the fact that he is going for the standard Twilight opener. I really would be surprised if he goes for a Stargate or something in the series. It's just completely obsolete at this point. It feels like Protoss players just don't go for that. Versus Terran nowadays, it's very difficult to make work. So it will just be the blank coming up here for SOS for now, as well as an extra gateway. We'll see if he wants to go super fast to his third base, or if he's going to try to ramp up the pressure with some extra gateways and more stalkers.
We do have one more gateway coming in. So right now, SOS playing a little bit safe, as he's just going to confirm once more with the Phoenix Scout whether or not he can throw down this third command center, or third nexus, I should say. Does spawn. Widow Mine's cleverly hidden behind the barracks, one of Ryung's favorite moves. I think he does this more than basically any other Terran that I've ever seen.
I gotcha!
Those Widow Mines, they're always behind something.
They can't do it versus oracles anymore because no one makes them anymore. So, they have to get their satisfaction by at least killing the hallucination and denying, 2% of the scouting they would have already gotten.
Ooh, Stalker's actually catching this Reaper, able to take that one out. And I think that's going to be a probe throwing down to the expansion here, but it's not a very quick one. This is coming in after 3 gateways, after Blink, after the Robo-Wall gets started. So SOS playing very conservatively, and that means that he really doesn't want to take any economic damage from this pressure. Now, if you're playing very greedy, you can get away with maybe having a big probe pull, or maybe even losing a couple of workers, but if you play conservatively like this, you gotta anchor the defense. 4 Stalkers, Stutter stepping forward, will be able to usher away this medevac, so far, so good here for Protoss.
Yeah, nothing taken in terms of damage here for SOS. Might even chase this down. Does he have the read perfectly? Just unfortunately goes back just in time. But the medevac boost coming on cooldown as well, so likely would not have lost it. We'll just use these Widow Mines for some forward vision for now, so that way he knows where everything is coming from. Maybe even luckily kill a hallucination scout or something. And it's going to be a fast tech back into Colossus for SOS. He's not going to sit on much of gateway units for too long. He's not going to go straight into Storm, which was so popular in the last few months or so. It's going to be right into the Colossus, and we'll see if he's able to find the defense, which likely will be coming from a tank push or something like that from Ryung in the future.
Yeah, after the recent series of patches that we've had coming in from Blizzard, does SOS do spot this? No, you do not. So that is 1 Stalker going down. Trade here for 1 Widow Mine, but going back to the point that I was making, we, as you said, saw Storm utilized very heavily in PBT. It was just the de facto opening in this matchup for many, many months. Protoss players absolutely figured it out. But ever since we had a little bit of a rework come in from Blizzard, it seems like the Protoss Pro community is kind of split in terms of what is optimal to play now in PBT. And there are 2 schools of thought. One of them we saw earlier, MaxPax was able to deploy in his PBTs. Would go for still the very fast Storm and just kind of hedge his bets with the spellcasting approach, whereas a lot of other Protoss players in this matchup are just going super Zealot heavy, Zealots, Stalkers, Colossus, and very aggro. And it seems like SOS is falling into that latter category. Is Ryung with the double drop right now, 1 in the main base, 1 over here at the third, able to get a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, 2 probes. It might even be more if SOS is not paying attention. Thankfully, he is. Won't lose a massive amount of them. Blinks forward to kill that off as well. So only 2 probes down, but a good amount of mining lost, like you mentioned. Will still make it a little bit awkward, so not the most insane drop or harassment, but still something to just kind of force SOS off his groove just a little bit as we now set up for a forward attack. Thankfully, that Raven also is there, so the Observer will get killed off, which means that Ryung could potentially go for this very nice double drop towards the left-hand side without vision coming in from SOS.
Now, I was wondering if we're going to see a Warp Prism or a Colossus as the next unit out of the row, because a lot of players have been leveraging this Colossus for early pressure on the third base of Terran, as SOS he is roaming here in the center of the map, but I think this is more of just him taking presence. He doesn't have the Warp Prism follow-up for that early warp in point, because I don't think so. He's pushing quite far, though, Gemini. I'm surprised by this.
Yeah, he's going pretty far, and it's right when this double drop is happening as well. So he's going to need to recall if he wants to defend against this. 2 drops of worth of bio is not going to be defensible with just a few warp-ins of gateways, but he's just going to send it with his army, almost going right into the main base, it looks like. He might even just try to force field the ramp and kill off the production. Going for a full base trade is not what I was expecting from SOS, but honestly, that goes right to his style. Make chaos, make it scrappy, and he's going to try to go in for this, but I mean, he's getting stuck in the back of the net. I don't think this is the right play.
Oh, both Colossi get taken down. A ton of the Stalkers also, they're stuck between the jugs. Oh no! The goblets! The goblets!
The goblets!
The goblets of doom!
No.
So many Stalkers get taken down after they blink into the low ground, and now Ryung just has a massive army supply lead. We were talking about how we didn't think SOS would go for the deep push because he didn't have a Warp Prism follow-up to reinforce, but he committed anyway, and Ryung absolutely made him pay for it. Twice as cost-efficient up until this point, army-wise. Gotten some good economic damage done too, or at least economic to mining time lost on SOS's side, and with just 1 Colossus and that being your main AoE damage, I'm not sure if SOS is going to be able to hold on against this next push unless he has a dream engagement.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard. There's ghosts coming out behind this as well from Ryung, so he's fully setting himself up for the later stages of the game. Nice Widowmine defense from SOS as well, but this army is the problem. It's so massive. He's got a singular Colossus, like we said, and it's going to get hit as well with the armor shred. Going to make it even more easy for these Vikings to kill it off. The Zealots trying to get onto the bio, but an easy stutter step back from Ryung. He is eclipsing SOS in supply at this point, and the last Colossus will fall. This is looking terrible for SOS.
Yeah, the bio stems forward. Another pylon gets taken down, denying the big warp in, and GG is called by SOS. Ryung with a commanding game number 1. He's going to be leading this series 1-0, and for SOS, a little bit of a head scratcher with some of the moves made there. I like the arch of the build quite well, but the execution, mechanically it made sense, but strategically it was kind of wonky.
Yeah, it was not exactly the best play, I think, to try and go all in there with the attack in the natural. Sure, he didn't recall at all in the game. No. I feel like he definitely had it off cooldown. There was enough energy in the main base as well. Maybe he was just afraid that if he recalled right there, all the bio would just jump on the Colossi and snipe them immediately anyway, which sometimes does happen. But I feel like that was still going to be the better play than just kind of sending it to the Nat. Or even if he... Like what I was saying, where maybe he just goes straight into the main and just tries to force field the ramp, so that way it's harder for him to get up. Maybe that would have led him to be a little bit more successful there. But yeah, no, not the play to go sending it there. Apparently, it really all came apart right there.
Maybe it would have looked a little bit better if Ryung hadn't gone for the double medevac drop exactly at that time.
Yeah,
but
no,
that
was
just makes the
unlucky
decision not to recall even more interesting, right? And yeah. I think SOS taught me in that game number 1 not to predict anything that he's going to do from here on out. It's kind of nice in a way, because SOS, I feel like up until this point, he's been on the road coming back into StarCraft 2. He had a pretty long hiatus from the game. He's been practicing and trying to play in GSL qualifiers and playing in the RSL. He was playing a lot of macro. He kind of lost the edge of the cheeky, cheesy builds and the unique tactics that he used to do. And even though it's not really working out for him so far today, with a loss versus Reynor, now going 0-1 down versus Ryung, I honestly think this is kind of promising here for SOS. If he can continue to workshop these very unique approaches and unorthodox ways of handling different situations, eventually it's going to get on the level. I mean, we've seen SOS literally do this to world championship caliber play, right? So I think it's exciting. I think this is him. Even though if SOS plays a straight up macro game and does everything the exact by the book way of doing it, he's probably going to win a couple more games. I think that this is playing more to his strengths. It's just going to take time for us to really see the fruits of that labor.
It's also more interesting. I don't think,
yeah, for sure.
I don't think any of us want to watch an SOS game and then see the most simple standard build you've ever seen. That is not what I sign up for when I'm watching an SOS game. I want to see crazy builds. I want to see the Mothership rushes like we saw earlier. We want to see weird, wonky, all-in timings and everything. That's what we want SOS for. We've got plenty of stock standard Protoss players nowadays, so let's get some interesting stuff. I love that. That was actually so cool. He has the probe sitting there waiting for him to see if an eBay block will come, and then he's got this super fast Nexus. That was at 18 supply. You never see a Nexus at that time, but to preemptively block, or reactively block, I should say, the eBay from getting thrown down, that was actually pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people go for the Nexus before Core. That's starting to kind of trend in PvT a little bit, but that timing where it denies the eBay block is honestly so cool, because for Ryung, that's a lot of lost mining time. That's your SCVs in the early game here is Terran. They're building a lot of structures. You got to morph in your orbital. You don't have that many workers that are actually mining, so now this one SCV, move all the way cross map to try and throw it out of eBay, and then just hightail it all the way back home with minimal scouting information. It doesn't feel very good here for Ryung.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't normally see that ever. He's going to go into an Adept afterwards as well. We'll see what his tech is going to be. It's likely going to be that Twilight, so it's not going to be anything super crazy. But the Adept will be coming out to do the scouting instead of the Sentry like it was last time. Going for a double Adept as well could mean that he might try to be a little bit more aggressive with it as well. Might try to send them both over. Reaper kind of doing some jumping and jiving all over the place, but we'll just kind of keep this Adept home for a little bit. Oh my god, the long jump champion Reaper, just the world record for the longest Reaper jump. Jesus, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think upending the record that it just set by jumping over these trees. I didn't even know you could jump in that corner
here
on this
map. Those are just a bunch of trees. Jesus. I want to see him do that again.
I don't think I've ever seen... Those are two of the most ridiculous jumps I believe I have ever seen a Reaper do.
That was so funny. Oh my goodness.
All right, first Adept moving cross map right now, going to be gathering some scouting information here for SOS as it's now reaching the natural expansion. Unfortunately, it is met by 2 Marines and a Hellion, so it's going to shade away as quickly as possible. Might try and get 1 Marine or 1 SCV. Looks like he's going to go for the Marine, but oh, be careful. If you don't stutter step like that, it will get taken down, and indeed it does, as the Reaper also is going to be escaping with 3 HP. So a little bit painful here, these early exchanges. And you can see SOS kind of adjusting his position in the chair with that. It's a frustrating moment.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. He wasn't quite paying perfectly attention to it, so doesn't stutter step forward enough to get the last shot or anything. So, yeah, could have come away with a little bit more there, but unfortunately loses that Adept on the other side and then doesn't quite catch the Reaper, which could mean that the Reaper comes in a little bit later, maybe distracts him for half a second while a Widowmine drop or a Hellion comes in or something. So it is always nice when you can kill that off really early as the Reaper continues to just jump over everything on the map. What is it with these ledges on this map? It looks so wonky. But a fast third base going to be coming in for SOS. Very normal looking. Not going to be doing anything crazy just yet this game. So it seems like his PVT just kind of is about as standard as you can expect from SOS compared to his PVZ at least.
Yeah, well, PVT, it feels like among all of the Protoss matchups, is the one where it's the most cookie cutter.
True.
Is the most optimal way of playing, right? So it does make a little bit of sense here for SOS to be going for one of your more vanilla openings, as the 3 Stalkers are going to catch the Reaper there in the center of the map, but unfortunately means they are not in position to deal with this Widowmine, and Ryung is so annoying with a Burrow and Unburrow Micro. These are the 2 full mineral lines not mining right now for SOS. That mineral income at the bottom of the screen dipping down to 223 minerals per minute to the 2K plus for Ryung, as SOS is now going to have to resaturate these bases and try and double up those probes again on the mineral patches.
That is so obnoxious. Like it looks so bad when you come look at it from the Terran. You're like, oh, well, he only killed 2 probes.
No,
it's like,
it's amazing.
Look at that spike, dude. It's like actually crazy. Like I've said this a couple times, but I'll say it again. It actually does mess with your build. Like your income just tanks out of nowhere when you don't really expect it, and it is really obnoxious to deal with. He's still going to be up 52 to 44 probes though, so it's still going to be a pretty good economic situation for him. It's not game ending, but it is annoying. We've got a couple Stalkers moving across the map with a Hallucination to try and get into the main base here. We'll see if he's going to find any damage, but well-positioned tank and Marines coming out from Ryung means this is going to be a bit of a brick wall for SOS.
Yeah, not really an angle to find right there, as Ryung has excellent SimCity in the main base. He will be broaching the natural expansion with a Raven this time. We'll see if he pairs that in with the Widowmine drop either at the 3rd or the main base here of SOS, as Ryung getting closer and closer. No shield battery, so these auto turrets will be taking down the probes very quickly. Actually going to ambitiously put this one forward right where the probes are pulled. So another one getting taken down. And the Hellion actually going into the 3rd base. Widowmine still just standing pat over here, right between the main and the 3rd.
Yeah, it's really nice from Ryung, honestly, not to even pull the trigger on that, because it's forcing SOS to leave attention, not only, leaving units and also attention over on that side of the map. He's expecting, oh yeah, you're doing this drop over here, this harassment here, you're going to go in with the Widowmine at the same time, surely. So you're kind of accounting for that, but then he just doesn't do anything. He just lets it sit there, and so now you have to always continue to keep thinking about it, and so it might come back a little bit later. So honestly, I kind of like that from Ryung, and it was able to get some decent damage over on the Nat. But for now, it's still going to be a pretty solid, even game from both of them. It's not like there's any crazy advantage for either side just yet. Just little pokes and prods here and there. SOS trying to get a Marine, a Marauder or 2 as the push-out starts to happen. And Ryung is going to see what kind of leverage he can get in the middle of the map here.
I like this quite a bit for SOS, though. If Ryung starts to get confident and moves across the map, this can play into SOS's hand, because SOS right now is going for an army-crushing approach. He's only on 3 gas geysers. At 720, he is just now throwing down the first tech to unlock splash damage. He's been pumping units out of these 8 gateways non-stop. Charge is done. Blink is done. SOS wants Ryung to attack into him so that he can collapse on the position. We see another big round of 8 Zealots getting warped in. But Ryung, he's not really taking the bait just yet. And this is one of the worst feelings here as a Protoss player, when you're playing this low gas style where you want to trade, often with a Terran, if they just build up a critical mass of bile, then suddenly, as we all know, the Zealots, they're never really going to get very much done unless you get a beautiful surround.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate when you're just kind of funneling everything into just hoping to take engages, and then they just never take them. And then you're just stuck with a terrible army because you don't have any tech out quick enough. Stalker's getting caught in the middle of the map as well. It's going to be really awkward. You can see just how many Zealots there are. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, and Ryung immediately retreats. This is the smart decision to make because the army of SOS, it does not scale very well. It's 26 Zealots, and it was about a dozen Stalkers. He was hoping that Ryung would push across the map and try and either clobber the third base or deny the fourth base, and then he can attack in from a couple of different positions. The Stalkers, they blink forward, they take down the medevacs, the Zealots chase down everything on the ground. SOS sends us to a game number 3, but Ryung, he's playing a little bit too smart for that. He's putting the Widow Mines in a defensive position. Down to the third base, he's getting a sensor tower, he's adding in a bunker. He's just playing the slow game, and this is what you do. By the way, are those Zealots hitting the rocks from the high ground?
Is that what's happening?
Look at that.
Wait, what?
What is going on? This map is crazy.
You got Reapers jumping over trees. You got Zealots attacking rocks.
Even the Stalkers, it feels like they have wild range on this.
What is going on here? What am I even looking at? I wonder if SOS even realized that before he even tried. Like, did he know that they could attack from that position? Or
There's something a little bit crazy about the ledges here on Botanical.
Very interesting.
It's fun, at least.
Yeah. Just before that, actually, Ryung target fired the lone sentry with that Widow Mine in the middle. I thought that was actually very cute. We do have the Zealots running into the natural at the same time as the army positions over at the third. Massive armor shred over the majority of the units on the left-hand side means that SOS is being pushed back in both directions. No damage being found. He's trying to find some sort of window with this super brawly style, but just can't find anything.
And the worst thing is, SOS is now maxed, and the army that SOS has on the board is so unrefined. It is about as basic as it gets. We have a couple Colossus mixed in. Almost one Colossus gets taken out right there. It's basically just 42 Zealots, and Ryung is nearing max. He's soon going to have the 2-2 upgrades coming in. He's building a very defensive positioning, even with a command center, anchoring the position here, just creating a bottleneck for those Widow Mines. As SOS, you don't really have an angle of attack, but you're maxed on Zealots. You kind of feel like you need to, and so he's going to charge in anyway. The Widow Mine's getting huge damage done on those Zealots in the front line. Another armor-shredding missile adding insult to injury as SOS's army supply just absolutely dips. And Ryung, I think, lost basically nothing in that engagement. Now, for SOS, he is freeing up a little bit of supply, but with only one Robo, he's not adding much more. And yeah, look at this. 5 Marines and 1 Raven for 23 Zealots. A Marine?
What the heck?
A Colossus?
What the heck happened there? Okay.
I have no idea.
Everything's going weird this map. But that was probably one of the worst fights that you could take as SOS. Ryung with just an absolute god fight right there at the low ground. All the Widow Mines prepped, everything in position. The army composition is just really not it right now for SOS. He's trying to find anything he can, and he's trying to split up his armies here to just find these windows, but the resources lost tab is absolutely ridiculous. The 1-1 is already been finished for a while. 2-2 is going to be coming up soon. There is going to be a 3-1 upgrade lead for SOS at the point soon here, but he's not even really able to find much because the units are just so well positioned. Ryung is going to try to come in and save this fourth base right now, and he's going to have an easy time doing so, I feel like. The army is huge, but there's only 2 Colossi.
Some pretty good micro from SOS, though. He's able to shave down the Viking count. It falls to 5. 2 Colossus still standing strong. A Zealot run by, actually, with no bio support. Able to get some damage on those siege tanks. Force an unsiege. They clean it up, and then we are right back to the action over here at the 12 o'clock. That EMP getting every single Stalker just about. Only a couple have their shields remaining. That's going to mitigate the potential here for SOS to use these blink tactics to try and shave down the SCV, or not SCV count, excuse me, the Viking count even further. And look at that, blink DTs coming in.
Oh, blink DT and disruptors.
Yeah, these haven't been cost-efficient trades for SOS, but they honestly were kind of necessary because his army composition before this was 40+ Zealots and basically no tech units whatsoever. And since that kind of tragic engagement between the natural and the third base of Ryung, where SOS just lost an arm and a leg and Ryung lost basically nothing. SOS has been able to use his economic power to shift the army composition into something a little bit more capable. He's adding disruptors now into the mix. His upgrades are catching up. And he's also adding in blink DTs, which might be able to get a lot done.
Oh, that was another tragic engagement from SOS, not even realizing that the army was there and just all of the zealots bleeding up in there. Colossus as well. This is going to get really difficult for SOS if he continues taking fights like that. He needs to be paying attention to where his army is and where the opponent is. Disruptor is going to try to shoot out onto the army, but just completely dodged. They were too far back. The next one will be able to connect towards the back line, but it's only hitting some Ghosts and Marauders. They're not hitting any juicy targets just yet. And now Ryung's going to try to chase this down, but into a bunch of Zealots. He's going to feel totally fine in this position. The upgrades still being pretty decent for him means he can actually take this toe-to-toe.
Yeah, more upgrades now coming online here for Ryung as SOS. He's pivoting into the Stargate, so we might have a Mothership added in. Potentially even Tempest could be quite useful against this composition. The Planetaries in such a forward spot. A couple more disruption balls getting avoided here, but unfortunately that siege tank not quite so nimble.
Tank. You said tank, and I made me think of that. CC gets killed. Oh my god, yeah, so CC down will mean that one less base potential for Ryung, but he's honestly feeling pretty good with the amount of bases he's already got set up. I do like that SOS is really trying to shard back and forth here between these two bases to try and find any damage, and he will be able to target down this PF finally, so it's some more damage getting done from SOS is definitely helping his position here as he continues to build up this disruptor count to make it much more difficult for Ryung to take these engages. Ever since he put those into his army comp, he's been much better at actually leveraging these fights and forcing the bio back and making it much more difficult for Ryung to actually find the right fights.
Yeah, SOS has pivoted very well from this brawl style into having a little bit more finesse with these units. The Disruptor is absolutely paying off as SOS just continues to expand along the bottom line. Already going down to that bottom left expansion, denying this command center yet again. Somehow that was getting built on site, I think, which is an ambitious move coming in from Ryung.
Wow, that's a lot of Liberators just sitting up there. It's really difficult to actually push on into. One of them also getting sent towards the bottom of the map will be able to kill off a few of the probes, even with that lesser vision range from the recent patch. So we'll be able to still get some good damage done. Another CC looking like it might get targeted as the Disruptors force them away, but the Liberators coming to save the day will force this army back for now. Not quite sure what those Stalkers want to do. They're not going to kill that Liberator from that far away. Will get shooed away, but it's actually getting quite difficult now for Ryung to secure a fifth base. He keeps getting pushed back from this forward position. SOS is doing a great job of really forcing this back into this awkward situation. Unfortunately losing a couple units here and there, but this is going to get really awkward for Ryung if he can't actually get a fifth set up.
Yeah, and I think the Liberators are probably the ace up Ryung's sleeve in terms of securing one of these expansions, because unless we get some kind of Tempest out or something else, or I guess these Blink Stalkers with a really nice angle are able to get some damage done, it's going to be hard for SOS to dislodge Ryung from this defensive position that he's got with 5 bases.
Yeah, a couple of Marauders are going to be a little annoying over on the left-hand side before some Warpins get in, but I mean, I'm honestly impressed by how much SOS has been able to salvage this position, just considering it looked like he was going to get outscaled so quickly earlier on in the game. He's really turned this around and made it something that he's actually controlling the tempo of and really dictating the pace of what is possible here in this late game. Again, forcing another CC to lift while the rest of the army on the left-hand side pushes in to try and deny this, and also maybe even get a favorable engagement on some of the bio that's just kind of sitting here. Some SCVs also going to get killed off by the Disruptors. Very nicely done, limiting this economy continually from Ryung.
Yeah, SOS is almost playing this like a Zerg versus Terran right now. He has been so cost inefficient, but he's just denying Ryung from taking a 5th base, or at least until this point, he's been successful in doing that, as Ryung now has finally anchored that center expansion, while simultaneously, SOS is expanding all over the map. He's up to 80 workers, he's trying to trade a lot. Ryung now pushing in, Liberators not sieging up just yet. Instead, it almost looked like they're going for the Colossus, as these Marauders able to charge forward, take down all of these key Disruptors. The Liberators actually using their anti-air attack to take out the Colossus. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, that was a great fight from Ryung. Really just grasped the moment right there and is full sending it over on the left-hand side. SOS trying to find something on the right, but that PF is going to get surrounded by the SCV repair. You cannot engage onto that. Rightfully running away, but now he's going to sack his bases over on the left-hand side. This army from Ryung is looking massive at a whole 144 supply. He's lost a lot of SCVs, but that just means the army starts to get massively larger over time, and SOS sitting on 80 probes. He's not really going to have an army that is quite as large.
he's got a lot of Stalkers and a lot of Zealots, but there isn't very much in terms of these high-tech units. 2 Colossi only. As SOS is going to try and converge on this bottom left position. If he can get a flank with Stalkers and Zealots on those Liberators, it might help a lot. There is a nuke being called down right now.
Oh
SOS, does he see the dot? I think he does. That
if he doesn't see that one, I would be really
that ghost
really
actually
for him.
dangerously close to the nuke. I think he actually cancels it. That ghost might have gotten taken down by its own nuke if it wasn't careful.
That's one way to go out, I guess.
Call down a nuke on yourself.
That would be crazy. We are going to be able to force our way forward as Ryung into this extra base as well, but SOS is going for a massive counterattack over on the left-hand side, a flank, going for these Liberators. We'll be able to blink right on under them as they're not actually in the right position, so that's actually a great opportunity for SOS. He's going to force the lift on all of these medevacs, even sniping plenty of them with so many units in them. Ryung, honestly, overstepping his bounds, I feel like. We'll only really get away with a few cloaked ghosts and the air units. That was a massive overextension.
Honestly, I liked the push in there from Ryung. It's just that he didn't anticipate the flanking angle. If SOS tried to defend from where the 6 o'clock base is, the way that Ryung expected, I think Ryung actually holds on there. In that case, I don't see it as an overextension, but SOS just moving around with basically everything. None of those Liberators were added into the equation. They were all picked off before they produced any value. That's SOS cleaning up a very critical army, but he did lose 2 Nexus to make it happen. So his income, it's not quite what it once was. And Ryung, he secured 5 bases, and he's also taking a 6th in the top right.
Yeah, this is going to get really difficult now for SOS. He was able to dislodge these bases earlier when he had a larger army and he was kind of holding the tempo. But now behind this, there's still a good amount of Liberators, and those 5th bases were set up that you can just park all those Liberators on those really small ramps, and it's going to be really hard to actually walk up in there. So now Ryung has finally got some sort of leverage on his side of the map. This DT will be able to deny the right-hand side base for now. He will have to send some units there. The army size so far still, though, for SOS is still quite good. So he's still going to be able to actually engage with the army once it actually makes its way across. But when is Ryung going to push across the map again is going to be the question. Looks like he might just take this fight as the Disruptors are not here. The Zealots are going to try to make havoc on the left, but there's really nothing to attack there. He can just lift the orbitals as well. The main fight in the middle is going Ryung's favor.
Yeah, and SOS's gas count, it is dismally low right now. He hasn't really saturated a lot of these gas geysers. Look in the bottom left, he's only just now, I think, taking some of those assimilators all the way to 3 o'clock. He hasn't taken those assimilators just yet, and so he's got 5,000 minerals in the bank and basically no gas. That's going to translate into a lot of Zealots, which is good against the Marauder-heavy composition here for Ryung. But it's a little bit concerning because Ryung, I don't think he's going to make the same mistake that he did a couple of minutes ago. I think he's going to be very careful with these next couple of engagements and respect the potential of SOS to go for these surrounds and these flanks. And if Ryung is able to navigate the map well, those Zealots are not going to get the damage they need done for SOS to be able to maintain these expansions.
Yeah, here we go. Forward, pushing with the Liberators, slowly but surely. He's not even sending anything to that 1 DT. He can't actually take that base. It's a very worthwhile DT to have up there. Can the Mothership turn the tide? Cloak being used, scan already as well. And the Time Warp actually kind of hitting a little bit forward. Doesn't actually affect the bio, but there's still so many Zealots in this fight. Is this actually going to force Ryung away? It looks like it is. Again, a lift and running back home as the rest of the units for Ryung are either defending or coming out of the rally. So SOS yet again taking another fight.
That was an unbelievable win. I actually cannot understand those Zealots cleaning up all of that bio, Gemini. That blew my mind. These are like Legacy of the Void campaign Zealots. The way they were able to get in there and just chop up every single bio unit. I guess SOS got the engagement that he needed with that 5,000 mineral bank. 188 Zealots have fallen so far in this game. Ryung has been so cost efficient, but SOS is continuing just try and barrel him down with raw power. Unfortunately, a little bit of an overextension right here for SOS. That Mothership will fall to the Vikings. Stalkers are able to pick off a couple of Vikings to go tit for tat, but oh man, I think the game might quiet down. And look at the units lost tab. It is plus 14,000 resources in the advantage of Ryung, but it's SOS who is taking his entire side of the map.
Yeah, that's a crazy resources lost tab right there. SOS really just funneling everything here. He loses the Mothership and a bunch of other units, and he just instantly warps in 14 more Zealots. It is just full on to the ground for SOS. He's trying to just take these ridiculously scrappy engagements. and they've been working out fairly well for him, all things considered. I'm honestly surprised that he's able to honestly stay in this game at this point. He's going to be able to try and take this left-hand position, but Ryung is meeting him there as the Zealots on the right also do get pushed back for now. It's going to get continually more difficult for SOS to take these fights, but I keep saying that, but he's still finding these moments to really just catch Ryung off guard, so I'm not going to count him out at any point in this game. It feels like he really is just embodying this style and just really making it his own.
Yeah, right now, SOS is Gateway Man. Like, he's Zealots and Stalkers. We have a Colossus mixed in here and there. There were some Disruptors in the early game, but no, it's these 15 Gateways that are powering everything right now here for SOS. And what I would love to see Ryung mix in a little bit more is Widow Mines with this composition. I feel like that would go a long way. We actually see them slowly getting trickled out right now on the production tab. That one Widow Mine was able to take out, I think, one Zealot there on the left side, but I'm imagining another engagement like that one where SOS tries to charge in and take the fight head on versus Ryung. If Ryung is kiting Mac and we get 5 or 6 Widow Mine shots on the bunch of what, 40 plus Zealots that SOS keeps charging in with, I really see that fight going in Ryung's way. I actually wouldn't even mind him throwing down the second factory with a reactor or something at this stage.
Yeah, combine that with a bunch of EMPs, and it's just like the Zealots just melt, man. It's actually crazy. One more Widow Mine will soften these up over on the right-hand side, but the PF is still here as well. The army trying to lurk around on the left will meet the majority of Ryung's army over there as well, as he's really just kind of keeping his main army on the left-hand side. Both players don't really seem to be able to find any big engagements so far, as SOS continues to try and find anything on these bases, but there's just so many planetaries absolutely everywhere for Ryung. It's so difficult to actually find anything. I wonder if he should start using these Stargates as SOS to get into the more later game Carrier or Tempest angle to be able to break some of these defensive positions from Ryung, because it's really looking much more difficult for him to break.
I think that's probably going to be the transition after the next engagement. He is maxed right now, so he can't start any of those Stargate units just yet, but he has taken 2 more gases in the bottom left side of the map. He now has a 700 gas bank, and 2 more Stargates get thrown down. So with +1 air weapons nearing completion, he has the capacity to train 4 Stargate units in the Remax after this next fight.
All right, going up once again into the space. We'll be able to target it down. Ryung not quite paying attention of that one, but does come in with his army from the backside. Luckily, SOS is actually reacting in time, so it doesn't get jumped on too heavily right there. But a couple more units over on the right will be able to annoy this gold base just a little bit, but not enough to actually kill it off. 12 SCVs were killed in the engagement just before, and SOS trying to go in yet again. Lots of EMPs over all of the Stalkers. The 2 Colossi are going to get targeted by the Vikings, but don't actually get killed off just yet, as DTs also try to disrupt on the right-hand side. SOS taking some pretty decent engagement, but the army size from Ryung continues to grow.
The army size is growing, but we don't have a lot of gas or minerals. I guess we do have gas, but not minerals in the bank here for Ryung. And he isn't maxed just yet. So unless he can fully secure one of these 5th bases, SOS might just be able to completely drown him out. We have another engagement coming in. This command center gets low on HP into the yellow, not the red. It will be able to escape, as it looks like this nuke will take down. Oh, the probes? No, they are not evacuating. Ooh.
Unfortunately, only 5. So if it was, if it was a good 10 or
it just
20,
queues up 7 more like a Zerg. Yeah. Disgusting.
That's honestly sick. He's got a lot of idle ones over there on the gases as well. Could always do that. Actually, yeah, honestly, he needs to take some of these other gases, because he's actually only getting like 500 to 600 gas per minute right now, it looks like.
It's not even like he's lost assimilators. This has just been his approach the entire game.
But he's going to be getting a bunch of carriers now, too, so he really should be taking some of these extra gases. He needs to set this up for the late game. A blink forward will be able to dislodge some of these Liberators, so a nice move there, but forced back by the rest of the army. It's going to be now up to the carrier transition to really bust these positions, because it's going to be really difficult with all of this massive gateway army setting up for SOS here. Ryung is also going to try to set up some of these extra bases, but with how much SOS is lurking around, it's going to be really hard to do that too. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting how this late game starts to develop from both these players.
Oh, SOS trying to pick up another Viking. He does get it. Another nuke is going to land. This time 19 probes, so SOS will be able to pull it out. All right, those probes able to escape. Actually, the Zealot's just waiting. Oh, it runs out of energy. The Ghost does get taken out right after the nuke falls over there on the right side. Gold base now getting resaturated by SOS as he's looking to potentially catch this army in the middle. And SOS or Ryung, I should say, up until this point, has been so cost efficient, but being able to expand past 5 bases has basically been impossible for him. This is the first time that he's really been mining from 6 bases for an extended period, I think. It's been a challenge here for Ryung.
Yeah, you can see how many bases are even mined out. Look at that top one, also barely got anything left. Zealot Warpin barely in time to be able to deny this warpin, or sorry, the drop, so that's very nice. But plenty of defensive setup as well over here. I mean, you don't even really need to destroy that base. There's like nothing left anymore up there either. One Liberator will just set up for later over there, and a Ghost getting picked off randomly. That's actually a nice play. That looked like it was probably going to go send a nuke off somewhere, so that's a nice little thing to check off for now. As SOS continues to try and push up over on the left-hand side, all the carriers now in the main fight. Massive EMP on top of the rest of the units, though, will mean that Ryung could give chase, as there's really nothing underneath these carriers. There's very few units. The rest of the Zealots need to get warped in desperately to be able to defend this position. But the Vikings honestly killing these carriers very quickly. SOS's army is evaporating before our very eyes.
Oh, it's going to take a couple of rounds of Warpins to be able to remax here for SOS, as maybe that carrier transition was not what the Doctor ordered. He does have +2 air weapons, but this Bio Army is so well upgraded. We also have +3 vehicle armor here for Ryung, as there wasn't very much follow-through, and now that lack of gas, it might come back to by SOS. He has 3,700 minerals in the bank and basically no gas. Now, that is because he just invested a lot of it in a remaxing on carriers. I think we have 3 or 4 that are just finishing production right now, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, because the standing army for Ryung is 147 army supply. His worker count is very low. Finally, now it is SOS on the back foot, so Ryung can at last secure some planetaries at these exterior bases. And at the same time, he can levy a lot of pressure. We're about to have another engagement here in the middle of the map. The carriers are trying to focus it down. We can see how much time it takes for them to chew through the armor of these Vikings. I think Ryung has finally been able to break through. SOS been playing the Macho Man style, but Ryung, with a supremely teched army, at last is able to get the engagement that he needs. And that's going to be him going into the final match of Group D.
That was a banger of a game. That was absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that SOS actually was able to stay in it that long, considering the fact that the way he opened just totally fell flat. But then Ryung also just weathering the storm for forever. Once SOS actually got the tempo, he was able to keep it up, but Ryung just didn't die. He could not actually let off the pedal there, was able to outlast SOS towards the end. I mean, those EMPs in the end game fight as well were absolutely clinical there for him to able just totally snowball the rest of it. Honestly, incredible play from Ryung.
Yeah, that was just an awesome PBT. I think it might be my favorite game so far this season. It was so much fun. I really had written SOS off after he had to attack in, because he's maxed with 42 plus Zealots, and he kills like 5 Marines or something total, maybe a siege tank.
Yeah.
And then somehow he's just able to absorb his entire side of the map. He maintains this extreme gateway count. And Ryung is like trying to survive in like one of the last missions of Wings of Liberty with just endless swarms of Zealots, of Stalkers, even Colossi and Disruptors getting added into the mix. Oh man, talk about perseverance. Ryung is going to survive to face Reynor in the final match of Group D. The winner is going to go on into the playoffs. The loser will be out of the RSL. Unfortunately for SOS, his story in the RSL in 2025, it is going to end here unless he plays in the LCQ at the end of the year. But man, it might have been an 0-4 map score, but these were some really entertaining games from SOS.
Yeah, it was very cool to see him, but like he said, we might see him in that LCQ later on in the year, which will be happening next month. So if you guys are listening, if you are a pro player that played in the qualifiers or the main event and are not into the actual grand finals themselves, go ahead, sign up for the LCQ. It is ending on the November 21st, so please sign up before that, so that way we can accommodate everything, make sure we know exactly how many players are going to be signed up and all that stuff. So yeah, if you're able to actually come to our event on December 13th, you are free to sign up for that, and it's going to be super cool to see everyone here for our offline finals.
Oh, it's so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. Go to, tastelessthreads.com to pick off the tickets. I believe that is the link. If it isn't, I'm sure somebody in the chat is going to correct me, or somebody in the YouTube comments. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, the final match here in Group D of the RSL, Reynor versus Ryung. You do not want to miss it.
45 supply. The Ultra's going to give the Ling run-bys continue to happen. Reynor so good with these run-bys, always getting the Lings into the third and the natural when the Terran army moves out. Okay, a nice little
Is he going to go back? I
Cure.
feel like he actually has to just try to push and win. I could be wrong, but like I don't know that you go back and defend your 18 SCVs and start making stuff again. I just feel like this isn't going to work. Even though he's done a good job poking out these bases, I mean, there's still plenty of mining here.
Yeah, it's so scary to just send it on creep, though. You know, if you get surrounded by a bunch of Banelins, you might just get wiped out. Oh, so many Banelins here. Will he detonate them? He's going to wait for the Marines. Oh, huge connection. Absolutely perfect. I love that he didn't do it on the Marauders. He waited for the Marines.
Yeah, he's like, well, I could kill the Marauders, or I can wait. Big, juicy hit there. And now, you know, it's sad that there were so many Marines that were killed off there. And Reynor's basically, yep, he maxes out. He says, let's throw everything in here, see how much of this I can clean up.
Yeah, and, so many Ultras and Banes rolling in here. And this is it for Cure. Like, he's not remaking this army again if he loses it. Meanwhile, Reynor had a big bank. He had 2k in the bank. He's just spent it. And now he has Corruptors, so he can actually start to kill the Liberators and the Medevacs. Denied drops. There's actually no more Marines left after those Banelin mines, just a few of them. So the Corruptors kind of having free reign over the air here. Dude, look at that income graph. That is insane. Reynor's so ahead right now. He doesn't need to do anything crazy. He's just so far ahead, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, what can Cure even do at this point in time? You know, I mean, the army is so big. Look, Reynor doesn't even have to trade efficiently. He can aim move a lot of this stuff. So he's going to come in here and hit this. Even the Corruptors are clearing out the Medevacs. It's not something you normally see in this matchup. But there it is. GG. That is a 2-0 lead for Reynor, who frankly looks untouchable in the matchup ZVT. I mean, he looks like there's nothing that he can do. I don't know what Cure was supposed to do better back there.
Yeah, I mean, he did lose those Hellions early. If you can get a couple drones, maybe you can snowball that into a lead. But Reynor took the lead early, stayed in front for the whole game. The run-bys were excellent. The defense was excellent. I like the strategic choice of skipping the Banelin Nest, relying on the Infestors, and just going straight to Ultras. And then able to get some amazing fights, some good run-bys, and close out game number 2.
Beautifully done. We're going to go to a... oh, excuse me. We're not going to go to break yet because I got to do a plug. Consider signing up for the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/RevivesC2. We had a weird year here for StarCraft 2. We didn't know if there were going to be any tournaments. There was something like, how long was it? Like 8 months, 7 months of just like no StarCraft 2, you know, higher end matches. And it was actually in this period of time we all got together, everybody that's working here at RSL, and said, why don't we just make our own tournament? Like, why do we have to rely on everybody else figuring this out for us? We can just go to the community. They can fund it. We can build it into whatever size and scope the community can match. And so here we are. So if you've just now discovered this or you've been meaning to sign up for the Patreon, consider doing it. The money goes to the prize pool, the production, the staff, and then, of course, we're going to rent out this big live venue at the end of the year here in Seoul where audience members can come see the games in person. So we do hope to earn your support on that.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much to everyone who signed up so far. Reynor here is up 2-0 in our first set of the day. He just needs one more map to close out this series. But the next one is Evil Heart, Tasteless.
Evil Heart. We're going to be going to that map in a little bit, guys. We'll be right back when we continue on with this best of 5.
Oh! Oh! Go inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the RSL. I have kicked Tasteless off, he's over on the couch, and we're all Welcome back to the final series of the day. It's going to be a TVZ to round everything out. Reynor versus Ryung to find our final player to make it into the playoffs. We've got a lot of Protoss. We've got finally a Terran in Maru. We got a Zerg in there as well. I believe Shin is in there, and now we're going to get one more Terran or one more Zerg to meet.
That is music to my ears, Gemini. Can't wait to see who it is going to be. Reynor had one chance already to get out of this group. He's going to have another one here in the last game of the day. Ryung looking really strong in that last series. Looks like he's warmed up. Looks like he's playing well.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed that he was able to actually pull that last game out. It really looked like SOS was having him by the ropes there for a little bit. But we were just kind of talking as well just on the break there. It's like that carrier transition, man, just really fell flat on its face. It really just felt like the army was just a total dead weight. There was just so much supply and really no DPS output. Just gets absolutely flattened. A bit of an unfortunate circumstance there for SOS in the end.
Yeah, he looks like he had a really good position at points. I actually thought he was going to win the game a couple times, but it didn't work out for him. And one thing to say for Ryung is after you play a game like that, I think it was 30 or so minutes, like a very long game, that's exhausting.
Yeah,
like to play the pro level, for so long and then to instantly go into another set may have some kind of impact here.
It's true, yeah. Reynor's coming off of a nice little break. He's able to sit back, relax, just kind of watch the games, just do whatever he wants. So maybe get a snack, whatever. So it's going to be probably better for him overall in the overall state. I mean, it could also maybe be that Ryung kind of just stays locked in when this happens.
Yeah.
This happens sometimes for me too, where it's like if I take a break in between games, that sometimes actually doesn't help me, because then I kind of get like, I get out of it a little bit. I'm not actually like fully focused anymore. Whereas if you're just kind of winning or just doing really well for so long, sometimes it's better just to stay in that state of just like the flow state of, just killing everyone. I don't know.
Keep your hands hot.
Yeah, you just get the games going. Just keep it on. Just like Ryung's like, all right, doesn't matter. I didn't hear no bell. Keep it going. Get the next one going here. Give me Reynor. I'll take them all. So yeah, here we go. Reynor versus Ryung. Hopefully we get some nice banger games.
Yeah, indeed. Reynor looking locked in here, man. Look at this Darth Reynor setup
Yeah,
we got
seriously.
going on. Channeling that Sith energy. You love to see it. Let's just take a quick look at the maps, guys. Set 1 will be on Celestial Enclave. Set 2, Winter Madness. And if we need it, Tokamak will be there to round out the set.
Yeah, I'm very curious what Celestial is going to have here in this one, particularly since it is going to be a TVZ. I think it was Maru that did something a little cheeky earlier in the TVT where he went for that super fast 3rd CC and then the mass bio play versus Ryung. So curious to see if any of the players try to go for anything cheeky there. Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see what we got. Reynor, obviously, I think is the overall favorite to make it out second here after, unfortunately, losing to Maru, but still did not look like he was, getting dumpstered or anything like that.
No, I thought he was actually playing well for the majority of the set. Just a few things didn't go his way, but I would also agree. I think he is the favorite here. We did see that not crazy, but we did see the 3-hatch before gas build, really economic build he played before in the Maru set. I don't know if he's going to do anything like that here. We'll have to wait and see. Always a possibility. Ryung, on the other hand, I haven't actually seen him play ZVT for a while. We do see the pool going down there before the gas. And yeah, basically we're looking at Ryung here to see what kind of style of TVZ he wants to bring out.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he maybe tries to throw in some mech. I feel like he's definitely someone that does like to screw around with that kind of stuff every now and then.
Screw around.
I mean, nowadays, without the cyclones being as, kind of bugged and good nowadays, it's maybe a little bit more difficult to get it to work. So maybe it's, not worth trying, but yeah, maybe might screw around a little bit.
You might just screw around with some mech.
Try some cyclones
be a
here and there.
jokester with some mech. You make it sound so bad. Yeah, okay, anyway. On the side of Reynor, we know he likes these fast Ultralisk builds. Yeah, playing a lot of Lingbane into Ultra, that kind of thing. I think that plays to his strengths. Just, you have a lot of units when you play Lingbane, and he's so good at using these run-bys, as we see this little worker-only pathway here being used by Ryung to get into the main base. And, yeah, there's a drone coming out here. Was this going to take a base? Or is this,
it looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like, because it came out before the SCV got to the main, right? So, yeah, and he actually still hasn't taken a gas, so it is going to be 3 hatcheries before the gas here for Reynor. He will, of course, have Queens out in time to deal with the Reaper. Yeah, similar build to what we saw against Maru. Will save the drone this time, though. Against Maru, he actually lost 2 drones, so this is already a better start for him.
Yeah, you never really want to lose those drones earlier on. There's no real reason to. If the micro is on point, you're able to always, get the little block by morphing them into whatever you want. And wow, that is.
We're seeing a repeat of Reynor versus Maru. This is what Maru did. They both took this pocket base super early, and obviously went Maru's way in that game. But we'll have to see how it plays out here.
Yeah, it looks like Maru's doing a little bit of coaching for Ryung here, giving him some ideas to help him get out in the group as well. It would be pretty cool if it was also just the 2 Vitality boys getting on out together. Would be very interesting, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, they're always in the kitchen together. I feel like cooking up their stuff. They're always the 2 Terrans in the group. They've been always sharing ideas and whatnot. So I'm not too surprised to see him doing something that Maru was doing earlier today.
Well, I think he may have watched the games. He might have jumped on Discord or Kakao Talk or whatever and said, "Yo, Maru, can you send me that build real quick? That looks sick." Like, can I copy that real quick? I mean, he probably knows it anyway, of course, being at Ryung's level. It's actually going to be a Roach opener here this time for Reynor, which can be nice. You can go Roach Ling Bane. You can even transition back into Ling Bane. It all depends what upgrades you want to get and if you want to go for Hive or not. You can also hit these mid-game time-ins. So Reynor still has his options open, and we do see the 1 Evo chamber going down as well.
He didn't go for the Roaches in the early series versus Maru. That's correct?
He did make some Roaches.
I couldn't remember exactly.
He did make some Roaches, and he did this cool thing where he went +1 missile and +1 melee. And then he went into melee upgrades and got Ultras eventually. On the side of Ryung, we see Hellion Banshee with Cloak, pretty standard kind of follow-up to the fast 3cc. We'll have to see how many drones he can kill with those.
Yeah, it's always a question on if you actually want to suicide them or not. Just go for the full YOLO to kill as many drones as you want, basically. Or if you try to just be a bit more passive with them, just try and kill off as many creep tumors as you can, or just kind of threatening the chance that you might deep dive as well. But the Banshee's coming in with Cloak to follow it up as well. It does kind of lean more towards the more aggressive side, just to try and snowball as much damage as possible. So we'll see if he's able to actually get that or not. But the fast third base will be setting on up. You got those mules already mining as well, so plenty of eco coming in for Ryung as he goes into this mid-game situation. As Reynor. This is hard with both the kind of Reynor, Ryung, kind of similar names. He's gonna actually have to defend these Hellions as they run right in.
Yeah, the Hellion's getting right all the way into the main. The Roach is too slow to actually chase him. He goes for the Evo wall block. He's going to make another one here. Beautiful lock-off. Traps these Hellions in there. 5 drones have gone down, but he will be able to clean these up eventually. And I'm not sure if Reynor actually knows that he has the pocket third base yet or not. He made the spores quite early. I think he made them just after 4:30. And against a 3cc build, no, he doesn't. So against a 3cc build, you can delay those spores a bit until like 450 or so. So that was kind of why I thought he didn't know about it, because he made them a little earlier. So eventually he does need to find out about that as we see the Banshees fly in.
Yeah, it looks like that Spore is in position over in that pocket base, so that's very nice. We'll be able to deny those at least. Honestly, the defense of the Hellions was also really excellent out of Reynor. The 2 Evo blocks were perfect to deny any extra movement behind the mineral line and allow the drones to escape. Does let one finish even, so that way he can continue with his upgrades, so honestly just helps out his build as well. So yeah, a great early start from Reynor, denying a lot of drone damage. Only, I believe it's like 6 in total or so that were actually killed off, so nothing super crazy in that regard. And now we're going to be going into the Infestor tech as well. I loved the amount of Infestors burrowing around in the mid-game and the late game from Reynor earlier on in the series as well. Got some money fungals. It's got to be one of my favorite parts of late-game TVZ, honestly. Watching those little sharking Infestors try to get the crazy fungals to set up the fights is very satisfying.
Yeah, if you land one of those fungals on a big pack of bio or even, ghosts, that's kind of the dream as the Zerg, and that's when you initiate your attack. Ryung will see the 4th base going up here for Reynor, just going to pick off a creep tumor. It's always nice to keep these Banshees alive, especially when you play against Roaches, because if the Zerg ever does decide to send it, you have basically this uncontested damage coming from the air as long as the Queens don't come. So nice of him to preserve those. He can use those to deal with run-bys and all kinds of things later. Ryung here going to send out 2 medevacs full of Marines and use these Banshees to take out the wall here.
Yeah, setting himself very nicely with this 4-base setup. It's going to be very easy to defend as you're just kind of sitting on top of these couple little ramps. Makes it very nice for him. As did it just pause? What's happened here?
Yeah, the player cam